I signed up for a track day on Monday, which means I've got some work to do to get the old girl ready to rip. Today is Saturday, so I should have plenty of time, but I need to do an oil change, clean the chain and adjust it if it needs to be done. I need to bleed the brakes. I have new brake pads. I want to try and flip this peg 180 degrees. I know they're keyed. I don't know if they're keyed 100, I don't know if it's the same on both sides, so I'm going to check that out because it's pretty worn down on this side, but brand new on the other side. And then if I have time, maybe I'll clean the air filter. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but let's go. Every body bolt on this bike is a 5mm hex key or Allen key, except this one on the bottom is a 4mm, which is basically a crime. Find a safe place for your fairing bolts, and let's just do the oil. The plug bolt is a 14. You guys ready for this? Should have brought a towel, but I didn't. Oh. I've certainly done worse, but not perfect. Oil filter is 17. And yes, it does drip under the exhaust every single time. Little dab of oil. I like to give the ring a wipe and then just get that bad boy in there. No tool putting it on. Hand tight. At a certain point, the oil on your hands makes it so you can't grab it anymore. And that's the right amount of tightness. That sounds like dad. That sounds like dad wisdom. Like something my dad would have told me growing up. Fresh drain plug washer. Crush washer, I believe is the official term. All right, is that enough? Also, just snug, like that. Okay, I have my clean filter that doesn't fit in there great. Oh God. Hello.
Are you talking to yourself or to somebody?
To the camera.
Oh, I see.
So, mostly to myself.
No, but you're filming it.
Yeah. Okay, I have my clean funnel ready to go here. And I am gonna use this oil. I've been using this brand and type of oil for years. The first time I bought it was just a random Amazon purchase because I wanted to switch from full synthetic to a synthetic ester-based oil, or I think synthetic ester blend is what it says. I'm not hugely brand specific when it comes to oil, but I noticed a massive difference when I switched to this synthetic ester blend after using, I believe it was Castrol full synthetic for years. I buy the cases of that Castrol from Amazon. I cannot tell you how buttery smooth my transmission felt after my first oil change with the ester blend. If you don't use it, I would highly recommend it. If you're, banging gears doing clutchless upshifts, especially if you don't have a quick shifter like me, it really smoothed things out. And it's not like I ever thought there was a problem, but this was better for sure. How's the window looking? Window's full, but it's on a hill and it's on a stand. Okay, oil change is done. Time for chain cleaning and adjustment. Wow, that's too bad. I just like the old WD-40 and brush. I do really like this 3-sided brush. It was worth the money, however much I spent on it, like 10 or 12 bucks. But I did use old toothbrushes for years. There's not a lot of things you can't clean, in fact. with WD-40 and a toothbrush, I'm pretty sure you could clean up your whole life with WD-40 and a toothbrush. I change my oil a lot because this is my daily driver, and so reliability is very important to me. I also beat the living shit out of it on the racetrack. On average, I have done about 1,000 miles a year on track in the past. That seems high. Maybe like 800 miles a year on track in the past. Not the last year, of course, but needless to say, I am very excited to go back. All right, now, dirty sock. Wipe off the excess. This life is not always glamorous. Everybody wants to go on track. Not everybody wants to do proper maintenance. You guys got any chain cleaning jokes? Leave them in the comments below. I've got a real ecosystem going on with dirty socks and cleaning my chain. You know, socks last like 3 to 6 months before they get holes in them. And when they get holes in them, or one of the pair gets a hole in it, or I designate them as shop towels and repurpose them for the glamorous duty of cleaning my chain. I'm actually starting to get a little bit of rust on the ends. That's a shame. Don't forget the sprocket, of course. To those of you that know, this is actually a 44 tooth sprocket. Wow, that actually got a lot of shit off. Okay. Oh, I'm losing my gold finish. My gold chain is not really gold anymore. Oh, boys. This is gonna be the last chain I clean with this bottle. Not ideal, but we will prevail. I used to have a chain lube that went on yellow, which was really, really nice because you could see when it was on, or went on gold. It kind of matched the gold chain, which was nice. It was a lot easier to see when you made it all the way around. This one, basically impossible. Now, probably got to do something about that chain slap, that chain flop. Basically, my chain is hanging too low. I'm gonna see if I can flip this peg around. The way it goes into the bracket is keyed so that the peg doesn't spin when your foot's on it. But I don't know if that keyway is mirrored. All right, I wonder if there's an official method. Oh, there it is. All right. Yeah. I knew there had to be one. Any guesses? Oh, yeah, boys. That's gonna work. So this is how it was. You can see how worn down that metal is where I'm standing on it. And you can just flip it 180 degrees, get twice the life out of the foot peg. This actually is quite slippery. And you really notice how grippy these are. You know, they really dig into rubber when they're new. So I'm excited that worked out. You love to see it when a plan comes together. A little mosquito flying around all the way in the corner. That couldn't have just worked for me, of course. Oh, and that'll feel great. That'll be a huge improvement. Okay, now I have the right tools for the job, including a micrometer to measure the distance on both sides to make sure they match. So the wheel's pointing straight, which I don't think anybody else does this but me, but it makes me feel better. And of course, torque wrench. Converter from 3/8 to 1/2 inch in there. I honestly thought this was a 1/2 inch torque wrench when I bought it. I was a little upset to find out it wasn't. Getting loose, baby. Sorry, I won't do that again. Actually, no promises. Lock nut first, and then the adjuster. I'm guessing 3 half turns or quarter turns. 1, 2, look, you can see the chain tighten up. 3. Ooh. Ooh, that's nice. That might even be a smidge too tight. Back in a quarter turn. Okay. That's looking real nice. I want it to move. See there, it's like just below hitting. All right, that's good. I like that. Tighten the side, measure it, and then match it on the other. I know a lot of you are gonna say this is overkill. I know, but it's actually super easy to do and takes all the guesswork out of it with counting threads. You know, I used to be one of those guys. I used to count the threads. And then I found out this was in my roommate's tool closet somewhere, and I commandeered it from him. It's 11.02. Don't worry, guys. Him and I are still friends. 11.05. Beautiful. 11.1. What do you think, guys? Is 1/10 of a millimeter accurate enough? 11.07. 11.02. 11.05. 11.06. You know, it's things like that that just really get the people going. For all of you who said this was overkill, is your chain that straight? I'll be here all week. Brief intermission while I Google the torque spec. The internet says the torque spec is 83 foot-pounds, which is way up at the top of this bad boy. Beautiful. Wow. 2 turns, two quarter turns. And that was enough to tighten up the chain, but that'll make a massive difference in rear end feeling on track tomorrow. And by rear end feeling, I mean on-off throttle coming out of turns. If your chain is super loose, you know, it's just less precise. That'll do for now. It's a beautiful evening, but the sun is going down and I don't want to be working on my brakes, especially with brake fluid, and not be able to see anymore halfway through it. Got a lot done today. Got the oil changed, got the peg flipped, and got the chain taken care of. I have tomorrow to work on the front end, the brakes, and any final ergonomic adjustments I want to do. But I'm pretty sure I just discovered my shock is leaking a little bit. So I took a video, I sent it to my suspension guy. It's Bobby at Motor Rev Suspension. And hopefully he gets back to me before I pick up my rental truck in the morning. So wish me luck. Got the peg flipped, which was actually my friend Davidas's idea, if you guys are into guitars at all. I told him I was thinking about buying a new peg, and he said, why don't you just flip it over? And I thought, that's a good idea.